But this was the first time we saw Paige really get guarded. This is where we saw what is going to happen in year 2. This is the scout report that needs to be out there on Paige Bueckers once the Dallas Wings get good, because Dallas Wings are going to get good at some stage in her career. This was the game where I'm like, okay, we can shut up the comparisons right now.
The mask has slipped and the truth is out. The WNBA's hand-picked project. Its carefully packaged next big thing just got exposed under the brightest lights. Paige Bueckers, the anointed heir, the media's golden child, the supposed successor to Caitlin Clark, ran headfirst into reality, and the Seattle Storm delivered it with zero mercy. This wasn't just a lesson. It was a beatdown, not a wake-up call, but a complete dismantling.
Of one Paige Bueckers. Oh, she's better than Caitlin Clark. I mean, stab me in the eye with a spoon, for Christ's sakes. Wow. So that's a thing right now. Last night, Paige Bueckers dropped 44 points. And we're going to look at a video that just dissects and exposes a lot of that shit. Let me tell you. It exposes a lot of stuff involving Paige Bueckers getting special treatment on the court.
For months, we've been spoon-fed the storyline that Paige Bueckers was destined to inherit Caitlin Clark's throne. The media propped her up as the savior of women's basketball, hyping her as if she were shattering Clark's records as easily as a kid cracks an iPhone screen.
Diva of Dump Divas Kat Engelbert is breathing a sigh of relief. Her pretend friends in the mainstream media, they are trying to crown a new star. If the media has it their way, this could potentially be the new face of pretend basketball. And it's not just the woke media. There are even some in conservative media who are voluntarily biting into the shit sandwich. Headline at Outkick: "No Caitlin, no problem. Paige Bueckers can save the WNBA season."
She hit milestones at a record pace. 200 points and 50 assists in just 11 games, edging out Clark by 1. The headlines praise her efficiency, her composure, her high IQ style of play. ESPN even slid her into the number 13 spot in their mid-season rankings. The hype train wasn't just moving. It was packed, sold out, and running full throttle. But here's the truth about hype. It evaporates the moment it collides with reality. And reality showed up wearing green and black. Seattle Storm defense.
It's a little bit different, huh? It's a little bit different out here when you get Caitlin Clark treatment. It ain't so easy peasy getting to play one-on-one, getting to just do your thing, how you want to do it, when you want to do it. Paige Bueckers got the Caitlin Clark treatment for one game, and it got
August 22nd, 2025. Remember the date. That was the night the Paige Bueckers myth came crashing down. Fresh off a historic 44-point outburst against the Los Angeles Sparks, she arrived in Seattle ready to extend her coronation tour. Instead, she ran headfirst into a buzzsaw that tore apart every weakness in her so-called flawless game.
Year. She went off in a game against the Los Angeles Sparks, scoring 44 points, but the craziest part about that was her shooting percentage. She shot over 80% from the field, and I tweeted about that, and I was like, that's actually insane. Give props where they are due. Shooting over 80%, scoring 44 points is actually insane. But with this game, like, Paige Bueckers she put on a masterclass in scoring, and I think with that, these are some big numbers, and those are some props that need
11 points. That's all the so-called next Caitlin Clark managed against real pro-level defense. Not 11 and a quarter, not 11 by halftime. 11 total. 2 of 11 shooting. 0 assists. 2 rebounds. A box score that looked more like a youth league participation ribbon than a superstar stat line. The Storm's defensive mastermind, Noelle Quinn, summed it up before tip-off. Asterisk, she got 44 the other night in a variety of ways. Asterisk translation. Time to find out if this princess could handle the Caitlin Clark treatment. Spoiler, she couldn't.
For the game, you said it's going to be important to be physical with like Paige Bueckers. Can you talk about the defensive game plan for Dallas and like how your team was able to hold them to their fewest points of the season?
Yeah, it started, with our attention to detail with Paige. I thought, Slim was very physical, stayed in her space, and the actions that we guarded her in, we were very aggressive, showed multiple bodies, and kind of, made her hesitant to use the ball screen a little bit. I thought we rotated well. And everyone who ended up being on Paige from E on down, I thought we were very...
If you're enjoying this, make sure to subscribe, because here's where the story really gets good. While Paige Bueckers was getting her wake-up call in Seattle, let's shift the spotlight back to the actual next-level superstar, Caitlin Clark. The player who didn't just join the league, but reshaped the entire landscape of women's basketball, has been absorbing punishment that looks more like NFL highlight reels than WNBA defense. The numbers tell the story. 17% of all flagrant fouls in the 2024 season were committed against Clark. That's not competition. That's open season.
Paige Bueckers got Caitlin Clark treatment for the first time in her career, and it looked bad. It looked real bad. Everybody was running around. Yeah, she was cooking 44 points versus the Sparks. They didn't play a lick of defense, letting this girl play one-on-one basketball in every area of the floor, letting her post up in the mid-range area one-on-one. Now, I'm giving credit. She's a bucket in one-on-one, especially from that mid-range, from the free throw line down area. But this is the first time we watch teams actively be persistent about taking away her spots and what she wants to do.
The Chicago Sky alone were responsible for 80% of the flagrant fouls committed against Clark. Meanwhile, Paige Bueckers has been coasting, treated with kid gloves, floating through games like it was still a college scrimmage. But the moment she finally ran into the kind of physical, relentless defense Clark faces every single night, she collapsed, folding faster than a lawn chair in a hurricane. Seattle made it their mission to hound her, bump her, contest every shot, and force her to earn every possession. And the result? She vanished.
Because she got blitzed. She got doubled. And do you want to know what she did as soon as she got blitzed and doubles? She passed. Paige Bueckers, look, she played decent amount early in the game. The game was kind of over and she got subbed out. Paige Bueckers shot 7 times. Paige shot the ball 7.
The media couldn't stop bragging about Bueckers' efficiency. 47.4% from the field, compared to Clark's 41.7% as a rookie. They spun it as proof that Paige was more polished, more pro-ready. But here's what they left out. Clark was taking the toughest shots in the league while being defended like she had a bullseye on her back. Bueckers' glossy percentages were built on soft coverage and wide-open looks. The second Seattle defended her like the superstar she was hyped up to be, that efficiency collapsed. 2 makes on 11 attempts. That's not efficiency. That's exposure. Meanwhile, Clark has been draining buckets over defenders who aren't just contesting her. They're trying to physically take her out of games. She's eaten flagrant fouls that had nothing to do with basketball. She's battled through defensive game plans built around sheer physical punishment. And in spite of all that, she's still producing numbers that make Bueckers' stat lines look like rough drafts.
Paige Bueckers, let me ask you this. How did it feel to be blitzed and played 94 feet before you even get a chance to bring the ball up court like your name was Caitlin Clark, a.k.a. my precious Cece? You didn't like that, huh? You hear me? You out there was looking like you was about to cry. Yeah, so what do your fans have to say now? Excuse me, where are you Paige Bueckers fans at? That's y'all MVP and face of the league, right? She's boring. She's not good enough. She gets special treatment. But understand, she kept getting blitz after blitz after blitz after...
Let's be blunt about what went down on August 22nd. Paige Bueckers got the slightest taste of what Caitlin Clark endures every single night, and she folded. One game of real defensive pressure, one game where the opposition actually forced her to earn her looks, and suddenly the next Caitlin Clark looked more like the next player headed for the bench. This is the same player the media has hyped as Clark superior in every category. The same player praised as more cerebral, more fundamentally polished. The same player who broke Clark's record so quickly that analysts were ready to crown her the heir after half a season. But when the game got physical, when it turned into the kind of chess match Clark has been mastering since day one, Bueckers vanished. She's not built for the spotlight Clark has carried with ease. She's not ready for the bruises, the pressure, or the game plans designed solely to stop her. And she's nowhere near ready for the punishment Clark takes night after night, while still putting up historic numbers.
I really want to look up how the WNBA played against Caitlin Clark in terms of the defensive strategy, in terms of the other basketball teams around the WNBA, what they did against Caitlin Clark versus how they've handled Paige this year. Everybody wants to act like Paige is so much better than Caitlin. They're certainly not playing defense on Paige the way they played on Caitlin. They're certainly not attacking her with unnecessary fouls the way they attacked Caitlin with unnecessary fouls last year. So in the 2024 season, there were 35 flagrant fouls called. Caitlin Clark received 17% of the entire season's flagrant fouls, 17%. I mean, we've seen all the injuries, we've seen all the fights, the MMA fights that the WNBA players have gotten into this year. There haven't been 35 flagrant fouls called.
Since we're on the subject of manufactured narratives, let's put the numbers side by side and settle this. Caitlin Clark's rookie year: 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, 5.7 rebounds per game, while being the single most targeted player in the league. Paige Bueckers' rookie year: 19.7 points, 5.3 assists for 0.1 rebounds per game, while facing some of the softest defense in the WNBA. Clark produced those numbers while eating flagrant fouls at twice the rate of anyone else, while coaches openly told their players to rough her up as a defensive strategy, while enduring plays her own coach called flat-out unacceptable. Bueckers? She piled up stats against defenses that treated her like she was made of glass. And the one time a team flipped the script and defended her like a true superstar, she disappeared.